Okay. Just checking. So a lot of the reasons why is that people don't put a high value on money. And how do you know if you put a high value on money? Well, you count your money. You know how much money you have. You know how much money you're planning on having. And you set goals and plans and action steps to make money. And so that's how you know you're constantly, not constantly thinking about money, but if it's one of your highest values, then money is on the forefront of your mind. So you're thinking about money. How are you going to make money? Where is it going to come from? But it's not coming from a stressful place. It's coming from, well, it's a different kind of stress, right? There's two different kinds of stress. There's the eustress and then there's distress. Distress is the one that causes cortisol in your body and that causes, give me 1 second. Oh my gosh, my grandma's making some noise. Anyway, so eustress is actually good stress. Eustress is the one that actually challenges you to take the next step and motivates you and inspires you to take action of whatever else is, of what you need to do so that you can take the next step in goals and whatnot. And when you have distress, that's when you're like, oh my gosh, I'm freaking out. I don't know what I'm going to do about money. I don't know how I'm going to handle it. I don't know how I'm going to make the bills. And you go into this freak out mode and you don't take action. You claim you don't know what to do. You claim just like you get into this frenzy and you're not inspired to take any action steps to take money. So what I like to do when it comes to money and how I like to empower myself is, number one, just get it over with. Just deal with the money situation. That's what I tell my young teenagers that I work with. It's just whatever you don't want to do is just get it over with. Homework, just get it over with. Conversation with your friends that is going to be kind of iffy, or your parents or your partner or your siblings, like just get it over with. Because the sooner that you have the conversation, the sooner that you look into the money situation, the easier it is to feel empowered, to feel like that you're taking control over your finances and your money. So a couple things I want to tell you. So number one, wealthy people versus non-wealthy people. Wealthy people pay themselves first. And what does that mean? That means that they have a savings account, if not more than one. And every time they get money in their account, whether it's a paycheck, whether it's income, any avenue of income, they put money into their own account so that they can grow their money. They don't spend that money. It's a savings account. And what do you do? Okay, so I can probably hear you're probably saying, okay, yeah, but Linda, I don't have enough money. I don't make enough money to save. And so what do I do? Well, the first thing you want to do is, before you even go there, is go ahead and you want to, yes, I'm going to say the B word, you want to have a budget. What does that look like? Well, you actually want to write down, get a piece of paper, so schedule time in your calendar. Because if you don't schedule time in your calendar, it's not going to happen. Schedule either a weekend or a time, maybe the first of the month, or a specific time often, where you're going to actually look at everything that you owe. So you're going to take a piece of paper and you're going to write down from your mortgage, your rent, your car payment, bills, utilities, not just what's on your credit report, like everything. And out of that, you're going to total it all up, right? And you're going to notice that I want you to add, even if you go to Starbucks 3 times a week, if you write down entertainment, if you go to the movies, write down everything you can think of, or even get your bank statements. One of the resources that I use is mint.com. When you use Mint, you sync up all your accounts. And so every time you use your card, anytime money comes out of those accounts, it'll label it to gas, food, entertainment, transportation, etc. So this way you can kind of start to find out, like, where am I spending most of my money? because that's so important. Because of the fact that there are variable factors, right, which are food and also gas. If you know that, like myself, I don't like to cook, so I don't go to the grocery store every single week and spend, $100 a month or $500 a month. Like, it's not a set quantity that I'm spending at the grocery store or that I'm spending on food. Some people eat out more than others. So if that's you and I eat out twice a month, or I eat out, I don't eat out at all, and I know how much I spend at the grocery store. I have a friend that goes to the grocery store like 2 or 3 times a day. And so there are different people. So food is a variable factor, and so is gas. How much money are you spending on gas? And if you live in a place called like New York, if you live in like New York, then obviously transportation is going to be different from you because you probably don't have a car. You probably use it on the subway, or maybe you have Uber, or maybe you have a personal chauffeur, whatever the case is, but start tallying it up. When I first started using Mint, I realized that it took me like at least every quarter I would have more information. So it took a good solid year for me to just take a real good average of how much I was spending and where I was spending. So don't beat yourself up. It's not going to take you a year to figure this out, but it's just starting the process of managing and controlling your finances so that you know where your dinero is. So, okay, you start with Mint. You get the piece of paper. You write down everything that you owe a month, okay? And then after that, you're going to write down everything that all the avenues of income that you have. So if you have 3 jobs, and you're going to add that all up, and how much, and you're going to you're going to make an educated financial decision on how much money you make. Not a decision, calculation, excuse me. So if, let's say, you have your own business, or let's say you Uber, or if you have something that fluctuates, then you want to say, okay, get like 4 weeks or however many weeks you have, and say, okay, this week I made X amount, this week I made the other amount. And so with every single time, you want to grab the total, add those all up. So week 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 1, 2, 3, and then divide it by 3, and that's an average, okay? And that's an average per week that you're making. But 3 weeks really isn't a long time, even 5 weeks or 6 weeks. So what you want to do is, I'm going to give you a calculation, so you might want to write this down, or you can get a piece of paper and watch this again, is the calculation. I know because I used to do loans, and I know how they calculate what your income is. So again, if you have varying income, you get the average. So let's say you did 3 weeks, you only have the average of 3 weeks. So week 1, 2, 3, you total it up, divide it by 3, because there's 3 weeks. You're going to multiply that by 52 weeks, okay? Why 52 weeks? Because there are 52 weeks in the year. Now, let's say you Uber, or you have your own business, and you're like, you know what, I'm not going to Uber, or I'm not going to do this business for 52 weeks, like every single week of the year. So just calculate that, okay? It's going to be probably half of that. Half of 52 is 26. So if you get paid every other week, that's like 26 weeks, okay? And then you can say 52 weeks. When you multiply that by 52 weeks, then you get a total of how much you can make per year. So that's how much on average you would make per year. Then you divide that by 12, because there's 12 months. And then now you have a really good solid number to work with. And you have, okay, this is how much I'm averaging in this Uber business, or in my own business, or whatever it is that you're doing. Then if you have a stable paycheck, then you can go ahead and add that in. Remember that holiday sick pay, holiday sick pay, and you have different, what's the word I'm looking for? It can change if you get bonuses. That's what I was going to say. Bonus or commission, that can change. So just get an average amount of how much you're making. Now you want to subtract from your total income that you're making per month, subtract the expenses from the total. So this way you know how much you're working with. Now, this is where a lot of people are like, oh my God, first of all, that's already enough. So if you got this far, yay, kudos, give yourself a pat on the back, give yourself a high five, like, woohoo, you're already taking an initial first step. And take a deep breath. Because if you don't like working with your finances, I'm going to tell you, the easier it gets. It gets easier and it gets easier. And this way you can say, oh, well, I'm going to have money here. I'm going to have money there. So I can manage it. I can move money around. Okay. So after that's done and you look at that number and let's say you make, I'm just going to be low for conservative purposes. Let's say you make only $2,000 a month. Maybe it's $4,000. Maybe it's $5,000. Whatever that is for you. And then your bills are like $2,100. Okay. And you're like, okay, well, that's not going to work. Right? So there are two things you can do. If you're under, like let's say you're not making enough money, then what you want to do is you want to go back and look at everything that you're paying and see how you can simplify. Okay? This is where you're going to have to cut some things out. But this is, again, you controlling your finances so that you can have more money, so you can save, so you can have a cushion, so that on a rainy day or, gosh forbid, something not so great happens, like you lose a job or there's an emergency or somebody's quinceañera comes up and you got to buy the extra gift that you weren't planning or somebody gets pregnant. All those unexpected situations that we have financially that come up. This allows you to not feel guilty to take from one place to another. This allows you to figure out where you're going to take it from and to actually have a cushion. Because the minute that you have more, the minute that you begin to control, the emotions begin to decrease because you now are having control over the finances. Okay, so let's say, like I said, you have your expenses are more. Go back. Are you paying for cable? Is it too much? Find out if they're having a special. Maybe you've been a customer for a long time and you haven't contacted them and they have something new. That could be on your cell phone bill. That usually works on your cell phone bill because they don't always call you and they're like, hey, we have something new. Cable. I don't have cable. I haven't had cable since I don't even remember, probably 10 years or longer. And I have Roku. A lot of people have different avenue, they have Apple TVs or smart TVs, or, excuse me, what have you. But I have Roku, so I pay for Netflix. So I've had Amazon Prime. That was kind of cool, but then I realized I don't really like too many of the movies unless they had a new release. So find out how you can simplify what it is that you're spending your money on. If you realize, you know what, I'm going to Starbucks or I'm going to Coffee Bean or I'm buying at the local coffee shop 3 times a week, take it down to once a week and get coffee either. Make it at home. You can probably buy the coffee and make it at home and it'd just be a lot easier. Yes, that's going to take more planning. Yes, that's going to take more time out of your schedule to do that. But it's going to save you probably at least $50, an extra $50 a month. Okay, so let's say that you're over, okay? The other thing I was going to say, let's say if you want to simplify before I go to the other part, like if you have extra money per month, if you are over, then what you want to do, or under, excuse me, if you're, like I said, $2,100 and you're only making $2,000 a month, then, and you can't simplify, let's say you're like, I've already simplified, check to see if you can refinance your car, check to see if you can carpool if you're driving far, like look at different ways that you can save money. Okay, and then that extra money you want to start saving. That's where you're like, even if you have to start at $1 a week, okay, $1 a week, and then in the next month start with $2 a week, and then the next month $3, and then you're gonna double it until you have like maybe $10 a month or $50 a month. But the point is that you don't want to just do $1 a week. That's only $52. But if you start upping it, okay, if you go $1 a week per month and then $2 a week, because the minute that you don't see it if you, like, let's say, okay, I'm getting ahead of myself there. the minute that you start saving, it becomes a habit. And you want to create this healthy habit because that's what wealthy people do. They pay themselves first, number one, because you're number one in your life. And who else is paying your bills if you're not if you're not married? Because if you're married, then that's a whole different dynamic. You have to do that together. So, okay. The other thing I was going to say, where do you want, okay, I'm going to go into where you can save your money in a second. But let's say you have, your bills are $2,000 a month and you're making $2,000 a month, but your bills are only $1,200. And you're like, what, $1,200? Where is this $800 extra money going? Like, what am I buying? Again, you'll be able to calculate where you're spending. Go through your bank statements. If you have an account on mint.com, check it out and see, where am I spending all my money? And so what you want to do is you want to start saving because you have extra money. So that means if you're not controlling it, then the universe is like, oh, well, you're going to have an extra bill here. You're going to have an extra bill there. So what you do is, again, save money. Where do you want to save your money? I recommend doing it in a bank account, opening up a new bank account, savings. It can be a savings where you will not have easy access to it. Because what ends up happening is, and I've done this a million times. Oopsie. Hold on. Looks like one of my connections is failing. Come on. I don't know. This one's failing. I'm live on Facebook and here on YouTube. Okay. Give me 1 second, guys. Thank you for being patient. Okay, so we're back. I don't know, I lost connection. All right, so what I was saying is if you have the extra money, you want to have the savings account. And where do you want to save it? You want to save it in a place where you won't see it or have access to it at all. Because then what ends up happening is you end up using the money and then there goes all your savings, right? So you want to go onto this website. This is another resource. Resource number 2 is bankrate.com. Again, that's bankrate.com. And it's one of my absolute favorite places to go, websites, when it comes to looking at interest rates, when it comes to looking at calculators, financial calculators, from buying a car to leasing a car to how much money should I put down on a home, or what's the payment going to be like. So the best website, again, it's bankrate.com. So what I do is I go to the website and it has different tabs for what exactly type of financing you're looking for, or you're looking at financial advice. So they have, like I said, mortgages, homes, cars, auto loans, savings, checkings, credit cards as well. If I want to get a new credit card that has balance transfers and gives me points, I go on that website too. So one of my favorite absolute websites, bankrate.com, bookmark it, always check that out. So you want to go to the website and you want to check for, go under banking, and then it'll tell you, it'll ask you what exactly you're looking for. You want banks that are going to give you actual interest. Yes, there are banks that still do this. Not very many, and it's not going to be a Wells Fargo. It's not going to be a Bank of America. It's not going to be a typical chain bank. It will be a bank that you probably either have heard of or don't know too much about, but it's still a bank that can give you a legit bank that can give you interest on both checking and savings, or a higher rate on savings than what you're going to find at a Wells Fargo or Bank of America or any of the other ones. Yes, I'm calling those out. And yes, I've had bank accounts at both of those. And I'm not saying just move all your money there. I particularly have different bank accounts. If you have a credit union, check into that. Again, you want to have your money saved into an account where you're gaining interest and you're actually able to not have easy access. So this way you're not spending the money, okay? So I know that was a lot of information already, so I don't want to overwhelm you with information on what to do and what, like, all these steps, because money, just dealing with the finances, dinero, and wealth, it can be overbearing. So I just want you to remember today that, number one, wealthy people, they pay themselves first. And they do it because for many, many reasons. So I want you to start thinking, how can I pay myself first? And look into opening up a bank account. You can do it online nowadays. It's super easy. It could be at a credit union. It could be go to bankrate.com, check it out. You can also, if you're a little bit more savvy, financially savvy, you can open up a TD Ameritrade account or a Schwab account, or a place where you can do like a money market and start. Some of them money market accounts you can do with just like $25, minimum 6 months. The money just has to be there for a minimum of 6 months. And so you want to keep adding those. Set it up when you get that new bank account savings. You're going to link it to where you have most of your money, like maybe a Wells Fargo or a Chase or US Bank, or B of A, and you're going to link it so that automatically every week you're getting money taken out, whether it's starting again with $1, $2, and $5. And that usually they don't charge you for that. Like, there's no fee to transfer the money. If there's a fee, which you need to find out from your bank accounts, then you don't want to use those bank accounts, okay? And then you link it, and then every week, and then by the end of the month, you're like, oh my gosh, I have more money in there. And then you start to feel really empowered with your finances. You're like, okay, I'm getting there. And then that's when you're like, oh, I like this, having money here. So I'm going to start with saving a little bit more. For those of you that can save a little bit more, $50, $100, $25. Start with $25 a week. Find out everything that you're spending on a week and that you don't need necessarily. Whether it's like, I used to go to Target every week and I'd check out the clearance section and I would buy something for my house or things that I just didn't need. Stupid. Froze again. Things that we don't need. Things that we don't need. Dang, I don't know what's just happened here. Of course. Oopsie. Okay. I keep getting booted. So that means you guys are feeling the frustration about about money, about wealth and dinero. So that's okay. This is the final part. So I just want to remind you, wealthy people play themselves first. Start playing that game of wealthy, the money game. Start playing this dinero game. Be in control, because you can be in control and you are worth it. Bankrate.com, mint.com, link your money, start saving. Don't touch that money. don't touch that money. Don't touch the money, okay? Start investing it. Put it in a place where you can't access it. So if an emergency, quote unquote, comes up, you don't have to take it out of there and spend it, okay? So the other thing I just want to share with you is that if you want more help financially, if you're like, you know what, I don't even want to look at my finances, I don't even want to, this video has brought up a lot of emotion and I'm feeling angry and I'm feeling frustrated and I'm feeling like I can't do this or I don't want to do this, then I'd love to help you. So go ahead and go to you can click on a link. Actually, just send me an email. You can message me here, or you can send me an email at linda@lxavalos.com and just say help, put that in the subject line, and let me know that you want some more help. I have some different coaching packages that we can work with, and we'll have a consultation, see if maybe it's a good fit to work together, to see if I can really help you start saving money, to start getting in control of your finances. So again, this is Linda Avalos. I hope today's Facebook Live and today's video was helpful, was useful, and I'd love to hear what your thoughts are. Hopefully the resources, you check them out and you start to take control of your finances, because if you're not, then other people and situations will take over them. So empower yourself, stay empowered. You can be financially empowered. This is Linda Avalos, and I will talk to you later. Bye.